this is Sarah and welcome to your weekly oracle card reading. This oracle card reading is for the week commencing 11th of August. As you may hear in the background, it's a little bit windy today. We nearly all got blown away during the night, but we're still here, so hopefully you're having slightly nicer weather wherever you are, unless you're in the UK and you're probably, again, being battered by wind and rain. Yeah, today I'm going to use the Angel Tarot cards again. Now, unfortunately, we were under the impression that we were moving house last week for quite a while, so pretty much everything got packed a fair few weeks ago now. So there is a box somewhere where I kept out 3 packs of angel cards thinking I only had about 3 more weeks before I moved. So I just kept 3 packs out to use for these readings. But now it turns out there's going to be another couple of weeks before we do move, so I have no idea where the box is with the other cards in, so I'm going to have to kind of cycle through these 3 decks. But fortunately there should only be another 2, possibly 3 readings before I go. So then I'll be able to put these decks to the back and start using some of the ones that have been packed away. So for now we will use the Angel Tarot cards and find out what's going to happen this week other than lots of wind. Okay, so this is the huge, humongous, honking deck again. So we're going to go for Monday, Tuesday. And I'll just put them all back down because they tend to go everywhere. So Wednesday, Thursday, because these are such a big deck of cards, I tend to just, rather than shuffle them, I just tend to shuffle them a bit at the beginning and then sort of siphon through them and pick one using this method. So I'm going to go, I don't know why I really want that one. C1, and that's it, I've got to have it. It'll take me half an hour to get out of the pack. There you go, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Cool. So we've got Monday and Tuesday, and the card is Release, and that's Archangel Azrael on the card. So the meanings of this card are the end of a phase or situation, spiritual transformation, or time to move on. So yeah, energy-wise, I've been feeling that myself at the moment. I don't know if you have, but well, I've been feeling it personally quite a while. I know some of us will go through cycles and, you know, we'll come to the end of one and realise only we've come to the end of it because we're beginning a new one. Then there are some cycles that end, but there's this sort of space in between, which I'm now calling limbo. I've referred to it as limbo on my Facebook page. That's what I was in at the moment, limbo. So there's this kind of gap between, we're somewhere where the cycle has ended, you know, so maybe things have fallen away that no longer serve us, and it's like, okay, I see that's ended now. And then there's this kind of limbo period where we can spend some time in letting go properly of these things that no longer serve us. And then sometimes we go, okay, I've done all the letting go, all the releasing we think we need to do, and still this new cycle, we're still waiting for it and it's not quite coming yet. So even, you know, if you've done all the releasing in the world, sometimes the whole point of being in limbo is just to experience that and just to be in it, and then get to a point where you can accept that that is the reality at the moment. Not that it's going to be your reality forever, but that that's the reality at the moment, and that it's just a temporary vacuum before we step out into a new cycle. However, looking at this card now, the phrase that is drawing me the most to it is time to move on. So I think maybe quite a few of us now have already been through this end of a phase or situation, and we are now sort of getting to the end of this period of limbo, if you will, and we are getting ready to move on. If you don't feel like you're quite there yet, then this card may be suggesting that it is more important for you to focus on things like releasing blame, releasing guilt about a situation, letting go of things that aren't serving you anymore, whether it's food, drink, people, situations, energies, whatever. Make sure that, you know, you've spent some real time evaluating if there is anything you need to let go and taking steps to do that, whether it's actually energetically removing that from your life, or whether you're doing exercises like asking Archangel Michael to cut energetic cords that may be binding you to other people, and exercises like that. Okay, so my voice is a bit husky this morning. Right, so we're on Wednesday, Thursday, and that's Three of Earth. So Three of Earth says the power of creativity, recognition for very high quality work, be a team player. So this card's relating to creativity. Now this could be a good week for some of us to really, you know, step up as part of this moving on process, really step up and implement, get into action all these creative things we may have been sort of harbouring within ourselves but never really got around to doing, whether it's painting, writing, teaching, sharing, something creative that's maybe sat within you for a while and you have these thoughts of it needs to come out, and yes, I need to get on with doing that, but it's not quite come out yet. Now is a great time to really sit down and say, okay, you know, I need to get this out into the world, I need to birth this. Something with creativity is that it might not be the best time for everybody to be creative at this particular time. I think creativity is something that you need to get in tune with your own rhythms and cycles of life to find out when you are at your most creative. I think now would be a time that a lot of us would be. I mean, we've just had this full supermoon yesterday, which is probably why I sound like a husky dog. I haven't been drinking and smoking all night. I just usually always feel absolutely pooped after full moons, especially super ones. So I feel a lot from that at the moment, bubbling up as, you know, creative energy that's been bubbling up, and I need to go out and implement it now into the world. So if you need to do the same, if you're having the same feelings, then now, you know, Wednesday, Thursday, middle of the week sort of time is the time to really get going with that. You may find as well that it's easier to get going with that if, as the card says, be a team player. So whether you join a group, maybe for accountability, if you're looking for accountability to really spur you on to get things done, or whether you just want to join a group of like-minded people, or maybe you've got a project in mind that you want to be getting on with. You may find that actually it does tend to, if it's not fallen into place before, it may fall into place a little better if you start looking for someone to collaborate with or cooperate with on that project. And then we've got the moon. You see the moon's back, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The return of the moon, and Archangel Haniel. So this card says important psychic insights, events behind the scenes, release fears that hold you back. So there's a real theme here this week for releasing things. Okay, so we're really being guided here, aren't we, to something I just looked at these cards, and the fact that both these two cards here are standing so sort of solitary but strong at the same time. So I think we've really got to this week stand in our own solitary sense of self and really connect with that inner strength and really clear out the psychic closet, if you will, and really make sure that we're releasing anything, whether it's fears or guilt or just anything that no longer serves us. It's got to go. We've got to cleanse ourselves of those things, because we are, you know, like the first card says, it is time to move on. So we really need to get our own house in order so that we can. Looking at this moon card, I mean, you've got these, it's like a gateway here just behind her. It's like she's so close to being able to step through that gateway, which firstly she's just cleansing herself in this little waterfall and releasing anything that she no longer needs, maybe before you can step back into that gateway. It's definitely a week for release, and it's definitely a week for implementation and really starting to get things done. So any ideas that have been floating around, you know, it's absolutely the time to grab hold of them and find any way you can in manifesting them into reality and getting them down on paper and talking them out and doing them. I often get sometimes confused because I know this in my own life and then I don't know what it is I actually have to physically do at that point. That's when I get confused. So that's when I'd listen to the advice of the card in the middle and the power of creativity. So if you're feeling confused and you know you've got to take action steps but you haven't got a bloody clue what they are, then the best thing you can do right now is think creatively, be creatively, just let your creativity come out. Even if you're going to do something that you consider completely different, such as paint a picture and you think, how's that going to help me in my career or my relationship? You don't have to make those logical, tangible connections. You just need to really you harness the power of creativity this week in whatever way works for you. And don't worry about the hows and the whys, because we'll leave that up to the angels. That's another thing you can release, the need to control the situation and the need to know the hows and the whys. Release that along with everything else this week. Shove it all in the river and let it get recycled into nice, clean, new feelings and insights. And we can really make some progress, I think, over the next few weeks. So have a great week, and I will see you for next week's Oracle card reading.